Royal Aircraft Factory S.E.5b. The S.E.5a A8947 was completed at the end of June 1917 as a standard aircraft powered by an Ares-built 200-horsepower Hispano-Suiza. It was submitted for its final pre-flight inspection on 29th June and had been cleared by 8:30 a.m. on the following day. Early in 1918 it was extensively modified, and on 4th April it was again submitted for inspection with the new designation SE5B. In this form it had new wings of unequal span and chord. The dimensions of the upper wing were respectively 30 feet 7 inches and 6 feet. Those of the lower were 26 feet 6 inches and 4 feet 3 inches. These corresponded with the 26 feet 7.4 inches and 5 feet on the standard SE5A. On the SE5B, the interplane struts had a pronounced outward rake, and the upper ailerons were hinged to an auxiliary spar a short distance aft of the rear main spar. A considerable refinement of the lines of the forward fuselage was made possible by the use of a retractable underslung radiator that could be swung back into the fuselage. A large, shallow spinner was fitted to the air screw, and a cowling of good streamlined form was fitted about the engine. The SE5B retained its original engine, which had its reduction gearing removed, and drove a right-hand étoile air screw. It was hoped that the sesquiplane wings would improve the rate of climb and give the pilot a better all-around view than on the SE5A, and that the cleaner nose would enhance performance generally. The results were not wholly beneficial, for the greater drag of the larger upper wing canceled out any of the benefits that were derived from the faired nose. No attempt seems to have been made to develop the SE5B as a replacement for the SE5A. By the 9th of January 1919, it had been fitted with a set of standard SE5A wings and was subsequently flown at the Royal Aircraft establishment in a series of comparative trials with the standard SE5A and with E5923, an SE5A that had been fitted with an extensively modified tail unit at Martlesham Heath. In the course of a series of handling experiments, the SE5B was fitted with a horizontal tail of the same total area as that of the SE5A, but with the elevator area reduced from 50% to 35% of the total. The SE5B was regarded as being the best of the three aircraft. Later experiments compared the effectiveness of the SE5B's underslung radiator with the frontal radiator of the SE5A. As might be expected, these showed that the SE5A radiator was better in normal flight, but when gliding with the radiator retracted, the SE5B had a better gliding angle. It seems that the SE5B did not revert to its sesquiplane wings, but remained in service with the Royal Aircraft establishment for some years after the armistice. It was flown at the first RAF pageant at Hendon in July of 1920, when Flight Lieutenant J. Noakes gave a spectacular display of aerobatics. Okay, I found another photo of the Eamon gun mounting from inside the cockpit. This really should have been in the SE5A video, episode 53, but I found the photo too late. The Eamon gun mounting was a triple Lewis gun that shot upward at a goofy angle through slots in the upper wing. Now, while I like the looks of the SE5A, I think that the SE5B is the most modern-looking British fighter of World War I. And here's a story that does have a slight connection to the SE5A story. A Russian count, Pyotr Shilovsky, commissioned Wolseley to build him a gyroscopically stabilized two-wheeled automobile that he designed. Wolseley went ahead and built it in 1913. As war production got going, the gyrocar was in the way in the factory, and eventually Wolseley decided to put it outside, and then to really get it out of the way, they buried it. In 1938, the gyrocar was dug up, and it sat outside in the weather for a good 10 years, surviving the German bombing of the Wolseley factory, which was Morris by then, and 10 years later they scrapped it. And here's the whole story for those of you who are curious, and we'll see you next time.